Welcome back to Garage It Yourself, everyone. Today I'm going to be stripping the doors down to get them ready for paint. So let's get into it. Righto, so first thing you need to do is grab hold of the body panel workhorse and pop this up on it, and then can start stripping it down. Okay, so you're only going to need a couple of tools for doing this. Most of the fasteners are 10mm. So I just use a socket for breaking it free. And then I've got a little attachment for being able to put the socket on the end of a drill, wind it out. And then just a couple of different crosshead screwdrivers for being able to get to some of the fasteners. And little blowtorch, because those little fasteners that I've got to get to at the end, they can be like pretty rusted in there, and a bit of heat does go a long way with trying to free them up. So first thing to do is I normally just strip off the old door seal. Spiders are going to have to go to the housing commission for a new place to live. And then with that out of the way, the first thing that you need to take off to be able to remove other things is the large window and the window regulator, because without removing that first, the door handle and the latch mechanism won't come out, and it's much more tricky to be able to get to the quarter window. So first thing I like to do is there's a rear Bailey channel and there's the front Bailey channel, which the large window run in. And so you can actually get the window out, then I always loosen up the bottom, and then that just means that they can move around enough for you to be able to get the window out. And then you want to undo the 4 bolts holding the window regulator in. And then you just pull down, and it gets to a point where the window regulator will just come out. So you just need to thread it out through the widest part of the aperture, and that's your window regulator out. And then you just continue pulling down on the window, and it'll come all the way down. Just keep going. It will eventually come out of the Bailey channels. There we go. Then with it out, just finesse it around and take it out. Next is the door latch. So 2 bolts there hold the internal lever mechanism in, and then the latch itself is held in by 3 screws. So there's 1 there, and then there's 2 on the outside, and they're just crosshead. Okay, my bad, I forgot. So before you can take the latch out of the back, you got to take the rear Bailey channel. Once you've already removed the bottom screw, and then it's just got like a weird little S clip at the top. So it's just a case of trying to wiggle it free. Try and get the sucker out of there. going to be a bugger, isn't it? Oh, now you're going to get stuck, aren't you, you bastard? Right, after that debacle, might actually be able to get this out now. Oh, look at that. Now, for some reason, in VW's infinite wisdom, back in the early 60s, they decided to use a circlip that attaches this rod to the lock mechanism. But there's no hole to get to it. So there's about to be. And then with that little sucker off, hey presto, out it pops. Ta-da! Okay, next is the chrome trim. Runs up in here, also holds on the door scraper. So there's a couple of small screws that hold it here, here, here and here. And then there's clips that hold the bottom of it in, which just use a flat blade and pop them out. Yep, so it's got clips. So the next thing you're going to want to take out is the front Bailey channel. There's a couple of small screws up in here. I've already replaced them with Allen head screws, but they would normally be cross head screws. Alright, and then the last thing to come out is the quarter window. So that's held in with 2 bolts there, 10mm, and up here on the swivel joint there's a couple of small crosshead screws that need to come out, and then the latch down the bottom, or the latch plate, that's also got a couple of small crosshead screws in it that hold it in there. So let's get those out. And then to be able to get to the small screws, gonna yep, methinks the old rubber seal is a bit past its sell-by date. But you know, it's like someone selling NOS seals on Facebook Marketplace. It's like, oh, but they're NOS. It's like, yeah, but rubber starts degrading as soon as it's made. So if they've been sitting on a shelf for 30 years, that means they're 30 years closer to being knackered. But either A, they don't know that, or B, they don't care and they're just trying to flog you some crap. Oh, Spiddy. Bye bye, Spiddy. It's perfectly usable, mate. Perfectly usable. What you on about? And here's where my little blowtorch comes in handy. La 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 la. Look like a baby redback. Whee! Gotta love Australia's dry climate. It does help with rust. And then yeah, last little one. There's the latch there. Smoky. Dee 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 dee. Looks like these ones are going to be gits. And there you go, a quick wee video on how to take apart a Beetle door. Things did change over the years, as all manufacturers do, but the fasteners and the mechanisms inside are very similar from about 1956 up to 65 for America and Europe, and then Australia was 1968, and from that date onwards the mechanisms and the size of the windows and the construction of the quarter lights did change, but overall they're still very basic and easy enough to take apart. But obviously I don't have a later Beetle, so I can't show you how to do a later Beetle, but they won't be all that much different. Anyhow, I hope you found that useful, and if you did, please help that like button, it helps me out. If you think someone you know will find it of use, then please share it around. And of course, if you like what I get up to on the channel, then please subscribe, because again, it helps me out and gives me something to live for. Yep. Anyhow, I shall now let you look at a door for the next 20 seconds whilst the end credits roll on. Alrighty, catch you later.